What's up, guys? It's Bradley Stedman here again, and today we're talking all about what you need to do in order to build some muscle. Let's get into it. So guys, like I said, I'm gonna tell you some ways to build muscle. The very first thing you need to be worried about is your training. Your training is going to be your most powerful tool for building muscle. So now that you know you want to build some muscle, you need to have a training plan. There are many training plans out here. There are push-pull legs, full body, upper lower, 4 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, 1 day off. They all work the same, guys. The one that's going to be the best for you is one that you can follow consistently, guys. If you're not doing it consistently, then you can't expect to make any results, guys. So now that you know that you need to have a training plan, you need to pick one and pick one that you can do consistently. And now that you did that, the next thing that's important is going to be actually putting that into practice. So when it comes to lifting weights, guys, you might be thinking that you need to go and lift very heavy or lift heavy or do this amount of weight in order to build muscle. And there is some truth in that, but it's not everything, guys. The main thing you need to be worried about when building muscle and lifting weights is progressive overload. So progressive overload is increasing the intensity or difficulty of your workout over time. And the reason for doing this is because you're going to be constantly challenging your body. You're going to be constantly putting your body in a situation where it needs to adapt and change in order to be able to keep up with the demands that you are asking it to meet. And your body is going to do this by getting stronger and building muscle. The way to start progressive overload in your body is you need to be increasing the weight or increasing the reps or sets that you're doing, or you can increase all three. Personally, I increase all three. What this looks like would be, let's say you start off in the gym, let's say you're bench pressing 135 for 3 sets of 10. Over time, that 135 for 3 sets of 10 should move to 150 for 3 sets of 10. There's no set time that it needs to be 150 for 3 sets of 10. The point is that the weight needs to increase. If it doesn't increase, then your body has no reason to change because your body is not being challenged. In addition to that, you can also increase the amount of reps that you're doing, guys. So like I said, 135, 3 sets of 10, could be 135 for 3 sets of 12. In addition to that, it could be a 135, 4 sets of 12. So if you go from 135 for 3 sets of 10, and eventually that becomes 135 for 4 sets of 12, you've increased the weight that you're doing, you've increased the number of sets that you're doing, and you've also increased the number of reps that you're doing, guys. And so by doing all of this, you have progressively overloaded your body. Doing this consistently over time will put your body in a situation where it needs to adapt and grow muscle in order to keep up with what you are asking it to do. Thus, you have progressively overloaded your body and built muscle. While doing this, something that you need to please make sure that you're doing this, is that your form is good, guys. I'm sure you've seen plenty of videos of people getting hurt, and the majority of the time, the reason for this is because their form is not good, or because they are ego lifting, letting their ego get the best of them in the gym, trying to show off, look big and strong, and impress people, and they end up doing too much weight for their body. So the main thing that I see when it comes to having a bad form is people not controlling the weight, guys. You want to control the weight through the entirety of the exercise that you're doing. There's actually 3 portions of the exercise. There's the eccentric, which is the lengthening of your muscles during an exercise. So for instance, if I was doing a bicep curl, now I'm gonna hold my arm up like this. I know you do a bicep curl down here, but I'm gonna hold my arm up like this so you guys can see. So if I was doing a bicep curl, and let's say I'm holding the bicep, I'm just gonna hold this. But if I was lowering the bicep down, you see my muscle is getting longer, so it's lengthening. So this would be the eccentric part of this exercise. And then when I curl the bicep up, or curl the dumbbell up, this would be the concentric part of the exercise because my bicep is getting shorter. So eccentric is it lengthening or getting longer, and then concentric, or think of contracting, is the muscle getting shorter or contracting. So this would be eccentric part of the exercise, concentric. In addition to that, you have isometric portions of the exercise, which would be holding your muscle in its contracted position. And so these 3 portions make up the exercise, but the main way people get hurt, and most common that I see, is when they're not controlling the eccentric portion of the exercise, guys. We'll throw up a video on screen. So in this video, you see a guy, he is benching, I believe, 455 pounds on the incline bench. And when he lowers the weight during the eccentric portion of the exercise, it's too much weight. It being too much weight causes his form to be bad. You can see he's shaking, he's not controlling the weight. And as you can see, his chest, his pectoral muscle tears off the bone, guys. The tendon detaches from the bone and it is no longer attached. And so the reason for this is because he couldn't control the weight, guys. He was doing too much weight. Before this, it's not shown in the video, but before this, he was bench pressing 405 pounds. He got 1.5 reps, meaning he did one complete rep by himself. On the next rep, he was able to lower the weight, and then he wasn't even able to press it. Some guy had to lift it off of him. And then he had the bright idea to jump a whole 50 pounds, so go from 405 to 455 and try to rep that out when he barely could even get one rep of the previous weight that he did. And so this is a combination of ego lifting. His form really wasn't that bad, but as you can see, he just didn't control the weight during the eccentric portion of the lift. He wasn't able to lower the weight successfully. He was shaking the whole way down. He wasn't able to control it. If you're not able to control the weight during the entire portion of the exercise, guys, you are setting yourself up for injury. So now that you know why form is good for preventing injuries, let me tell you why form is important for building muscle. So I'm going to put this Mike Mentzer video up right here.
I have come to discover that lifting weights is a waste of time. In fact, dear listener, you would do much better to start holding the weights in the contracted position, only doing the lowering of the weight. Let me give you the rationale. The positive portion of any exercise, the lifting of the weight, is the least productive in terms of stimulating an increase. Why? Because it's the weakest part of the movement. You cannot lift nearly as much weight as you can hold, and you can't hold as much weight as you can lower. On top of that, positive, or the lifting of the weight, is a negative in that it is the one portion of the exercise that makes the deepest inroad into recovery ability. That is a negative. What I've been having my clients doing is holding the weights in the fully contracted position for up to 15 seconds, and then once they recognize their static strength is about to go, they start lowering the weight very slowly. And the results I'm achieving are literally phenomenal.
And so as you can see in the video, guys, he talked about the eccentric, concentric, and isometric portions of the exercise, guys. And this just isn't gym bro advice. This is legitimate advice. I'm actually going to throw up a study online. I'm not going to show I'm not going to show the whole study. I'm going to show the abstract from it. And as you can see, they talk about how the eccentric portion of any exercise generates more tension or more force than the concentric and isometric portion. And so that just goes to show that when you're lifting the weights, you don't want to just, let's say if you're curling, you don't want to just focus on, you don't just want to just let it drop. You want to have control. You want to control it up and control it down too. Control it up and control it down too. Same thing for bench pressing. You don't want to just, I see a lot of people just, for instance, the bench pressing, they'd be bench pressing, they go like this and they'd boom, just and press it up. Control it down and press it up, guys. This is very simple to do. Don't let don't let your ego get the best of you in the gym, guys. The gym is not a place to play around. You really can get hurt, really can get messed up in there. People have died by lifting weights in the gym. Believe it or not, they have died. But yes, these are some very simple things to keep in mind while in the gym, guys. The next thing that you can try to use is the mind-muscle connection, guys. So pretty much what this is what it sounds like, guys, connecting your muscles with your mind. So a good way to kind of summarize this is if you don't feel the muscle working, it's probably not. And so there is some truth to this, but it's not 100% true. But I'll say it like this. So let's say, for instance, if I am doing a lat pull down, I know a lot of people when they're doing lat pull downs, they say that they feel it more in their biceps instead of their lats. And so one reason for this is because their form, for instance, I'll show you guys from the side, but when they do it, they, instead of having a posture like this and pulling down like this with the bar, their posture looks more like this. And when they pull down, they kind of hunch over and kind of focus like this. They use a combination of their biceps as well as their abs to pull the bar down instead of pulling the bar down like this. And so the thing is, When they do this, their lats are still working, but what their lats could be doing, instead of them doing a lot of that, their biceps are going to take up a lot of that work. And so another example of this is, let's say you're bench pressing, for instance. Let's say you're doing dumbbell press or even barbell press, but any pressing movement. One good cue to remember is you don't want to be laying flat on the bench, guys. You don't want your back to be flat like this. I like to have a little arch in my back. I like to have my chest up and my shoulders back like this and then press. And so the thing is, if you don't do this, what's going to happen is that your front delt, which is this muscle right here, that's going to take over. So for instance, pressing, you can kind of see how it pops up like that. I'll show you guys on the other side too. You can see how pressing, if I'm not really putting my shoulder in the position like I just told you guys, my front delt's taking over. That's what you're going to find. Your front delt's going to be activated a lot, as well as your arms. And so the thing is, in pressing movements, like, if you don't do the setup like I told you, chest up, shoulders back, your chest is still going to be working, but your front delts are going to be doing a lot of the work. When if you do the little cues that I just told you, you could shift some of that work from your front delts to your chest. And so this is something very simple to do, guys. Something very simple to remember, but if you don't do it, like I said, you still will get some work in your chest. You still will get some work in your back, but they won't be working as hard as they could be. And in effect, they won't be growing as much as they could be as well. So, and now that we have that out of the way, the next thing is recovery, guys. So believe it or not, your muscles actually build themselves when you're resting. So when you're sleeping at night, when you're just sitting down, watching TV or something, that's when your muscles are actually growing. When you're in the gym lifting the weights, you're creating micro tears in your muscles. And when you are sitting down, recovering, sleeping, or whatever, your body is actually repairing them. And so when you think about recovery, a lot of people think that they may need to go and get a protein shake like this. This is Synthesis, this is what I use, but people think that they need to get a protein shake like that or a whole bunch of other supplements. And while these do help, the definition of a supplement is to add or to enhance what you already have. And so by that, it should be adding to your diet. It should be enhancing your diet. It shouldn't replace your diet. So don't make supplements like these the main source of your protein, your carbs, and your fats. They should only add to what you might not be getting through your diet. So let's say, a good rule of thumb is a gram of protein per pound of body weight. If you're not able to get that through your diet, then you can throw in a protein shake. For instance, this is, on average, a protein shake per serving, it's going to get you about 20 to 30 grams of protein, anywhere from 120 to maybe 180 calories. So you can be able to use that in order to get your protein. It'd be much easier to drink that than it would be able to go and eat, let's say, 6 ounces of chicken or 6 ounces of beef or whatever. It's just an easier way to get it in, because some people do have trouble eating. I can eat a whole lot. I would much rather eat some more beef or some more chicken than drink a protein shake. So with that being said, now that you know about supplements, if you're not able to get in all the protein or carbs or fats that you need in your diet, a good way to do that would be a protein shake. If you just need more calories in general, you can add in a few scoops of peanut butter into your protein shake. Peanut butter is mainly made up of fats, but you still need the calories. Your goal should be to get the calories in first and then hit those macros if you're trying to put on weight. And so in addition to that, now that you're getting all your calories in, now that you know how to lift, the next thing you need to do is you need to make sure that you're getting enough sleep, guys. So like I just said, your muscles are going to be building themselves while you're sleeping. A good rule of thumb would be to try to shoot for 8 hours of sleep. I know that's kind of hard sometimes. I know I definitely don't get 8 hours of sleep. That's probably why I'm lacking out here. Probably why I'm still weak out here. But yeah, guys, try to get 8 hours of sleep. It's something really simple to do, guys. A few takeaways from the day is make sure you're training. When you're training, make sure you're progressively overloading. Make sure that you have good form so you're not getting hurt and snapping your body up, just messing up and tearing up your body while you're in the gym. Make sure that you have the mind-muscle connection. Don't focus on that too much. That'll come with time. After doing a lot of sets and reps, you'll begin to feel, for instance, doing bicep curls, you'll be able to feel your bicep contracting. When you're pressing, you'll be able to feel your chest contracting. When you're doing lat pull downs, you'll be able to feel your lats contracting. So that'll come with time and recovery. If you can't get all the protein in through eating food, get yourself a good old protein shake. If you can't, you're still having trouble putting on weight and recovering, try adding in peanut butter into the protein shake. You could also try mixing it with milk. So that's going to be a few tips right there to get your calories in and get your protein in. And then lastly, guys, go to sleep, man. Don't stay up late at night, man, trying to watch TV and do who knows what else ever, man. Go to sleep so that you can live with intensity and have good workouts, guys. And that's all I got for you guys today, man. Hopefully you guys were able to learn something from this. I've used all this stuff in this video to help build the physique that I have right now. And as I'm teaching you guys, I'm still learning myself. So never feel like you've learned too much. It's always trying to learn and get better, guys. With that being said, guys,